There's another Assassin's Creed game? Bloody hell, how many are there now? 12? Guess this would make a decent video after all.
Okay, so we've got a new trailer to break down today. This is for Assassin's Creed, what's it called this time? Valhalla, right, let's get into breaking down the trailer then. Straight away we're greeted to a cinematic overlooking a Norse village, which will be a playable location in the game. The narration of this trailer is believed to be by King Alfred the Great, who was king during the Viking invasion, which sets the game around the mid to late 9th century. A lot of people are claiming that this statue is of Odin, but it's actually Tyr, the Norse god of war. Then we're shown Vikings on longships, which most likely is on the way to Britain. Plenty of leaks and rumours were going around the internet about the return of sea battles and boat exploration that we first fell in love with in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and this pretty much confirms it. This game is also going to delve into a more historically accurate portrayal of Vikings, as we see one sparing an innocent woman and her child, letting them escape during their raid. Another rumour is that we're going to be able to build up villages with resources, and we can see this in the background here. We've got some new weapons as well, with axes and spears being used during this battle. And here's who you'd think is a random person standing in the battlefield, but we're told that it's Odin by our main character in the trailer, and this is further evidenced by him disappearing with only a raven left flying above. In Norse mythology, the raven is a symbol of Odin, and it looks said raven is the main character Eivor's companion, opposed to the usual eagle or an eagle vision that guides you in previous Assassin's Creed games. According to supposed leaks from way back in January, this eagle vision replacement will be dubbed Odin Sight. This game will delve into Norse mythology, so having Odin popping up here already shows us what we're going to expect from that. Oh, and the hidden blade is back, just in case you'd forgotten this was an Assassin's Creed game. The Assassin's Creed series is iconic for its parkour gameplay, and this is something that we won't be missing from this game either. Even though it might not seem it from this trailer, we'll be exploring geographically diverse areas with plenty of contrasting locations. It's safe to say there will be lots of opportunities to do some parkour. Now I'm going to quickly touch on some of the architecture of the era so we can understand how its historical, technological limitations will affect the parkour in this game, a key part of Assassin's Creed that has been missing since Ubisoft went back to ancient Egypt in 2017's Assassin's Creed Origins. If you feel like you might not find this part of the video interesting, then skip to the timestamp that I'll leave in the description. As the political power in Norway was consolidated and had to contend with external threats, larger structures were built in accordance with military technology at this time. Fortresses, bridges, and ultimately churches and manors were built with stone and masonry. These structures followed the European styles of their time. Anglo-Saxon architecture was a period in the history of architecture in England and parts of Wales from the mid-5th century until the Norman conquest of 1066. Early Anglo-Saxon buildings in Britain were generally simple, constructed mainly using timber with thatch for roofing. Generally preferring not to settle within the old Roman cities, the Anglo-Saxons built small towns near their centres of agriculture, at fords in rivers, or sited to serve as ports. In each town, a main hall was in the centre, provided with a central hearth. Even the elite had simple buildings, with a central fire and hole in the roof to let the smoke escape, and the largest of which rarely had more than one floor and one room. Buildings vary widely in size, most were square or rectangular, though some roundhouses have been found. Little is attributable to the 8th and 9th centuries, due to the regular Viking raids. Developments in design and decoration may have been influenced by the Caroline and Renaissance on the continent, where there was a conscious attempt to create a Roman revival in architecture. During the 9th and 10th centuries, fortifications, called burhs, were constructed around towns to defend against Viking attacks. During this period in Britain, there were also plenty of churches erected, so even if the British towns and cities contained small one-floor houses, at least there's a few large churches and castles that you can climb for fun. Congratulations! You've either made a wise choice and skipped the subjectively boring part of the video, or you've sat through all of that and have come to the conclusion that we don't know anything about historical architecture, and everything we just said was a bunch of late-night Wikipedia research mumbo-jumbo, of which you would be right. So although the limitations of the era and settings are ever present, Ubisoft wants Valhalla's Viking settlements to feel like the player's home, which can include a ton of buildings and each with unique gameplay purposes. This leading to several events happening based on how players grow their settlement. Another fun parkour feature allows players to finally climb up trees. This added to the ability to climb up pretty much anything from Odyssey, and will make for an awesome parkour experience. Ubisoft doesn't have a great track record for keeping secrets in. Plenty of information has leaked about previous titles, and the last game Odyssey had a massive list of features and spoilers leaked that was around 89% accurate. We've seen some leaked images of gameplay features such as boat travel and horse riding already. It was also leaked almost a year ago that there would be a settlement system in the game, something that has been confirmed by Ubisoft in the game's description on their website store. Most of this information has come from the 4chan boards, but not all of it has been right. A lot of the leaks reported the title of the game actually being Ragnarok, which is clearly not, so take what I'm about to talk about with a pinch of salt. According to yet unconfirmed leaks, there is supposedly co-op incorporated into the story that will let you play with up to 4 friends, which isn't too far out considering that Unity featured multiplayer. Players are going to have a reputation system that is based on quests that you can complete for specific people and your actions in game. This is one that I'm not so sure about, but apparently the playable area of the map will scale all of Northern Europe, but considering that all of the official information released says nothing about this, it's probably not true. Another rumour is that stealth is upgraded by having physical stealth skills such as hiding in mud, snow, crouching in bushes, hiding in bales of hay, etc. Players can now also hide in crowds of civilians if their outfit or armour is appropriate, otherwise it can attract attention. This brings an extra layer of complexity to the game and will undoubtedly provide a more immersive and creative experience for your stealth tactics. It's also claimed on 4chan that the game will include mythical beasts, and if this information turns out to be true, then this game looks like it will have a very unique spin that sets it apart from the other games in the franchise. Like I said before, this game doesn't really look much like an Assassin's Creed game, but that doesn't mean we're yet to see more of the inclusion of the Assassin's Creed narrative. The hidden blade seen at the end of the trailer is similar to the one seen in the DLC, the first hidden blade for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which paired with its early placement in the Assassin's Creed timeline tells us that this over-the-forearm style of hidden blade is what the earlier assassins used. This leaves us posing the question of why they decided to switch to the more uncomfortable under-the-forearm style, which requires the sacrifice of one's finger, and when this change was made. According to the 4chan rumours, with the hidden blade being back, it is far more customizable in terms of cosmetics. It can be upgraded to kill in one stab. This is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one here at the channel. In the previous game in the series, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you picked between 2 siblings, but this time it looks like you're picking a male or female version of the same character. We'll have to wait to see if this changes things. It didn't make much of a difference to the narrative last time beyond the voice acting and aesthetics, and although I never actually picked up Odyssey myself, my partner here on the channel, Brandon, personally preferred Cassandra over her brother Alexios. Though Ubisoft didn't show off the female version of Ivor in the trailer, we can already get a good look at her thanks to the collector's edition, where you can get a small statue of her. There are 15 studios working on Valhalla, Ubisoft Montreal, the main developers, and 14 other co-development studios all around the world. Ashraf Ismail, the game director of Assassin's Creed Origins and Black Flag, and Darby McDevitt, the lead writer of Assassin's Creed Revelations and Black Flag, are both working on the game, so if you're looking for possible comparisons to other Assassin's Creed games, this is about as close as we can get right now. We're going to be gifted with additional combat modes with dual wielding, now a feature, so you can really feel like a Viking with your axes. The game will also be released on the next gen consoles, so it should be visually fantastic and give players a great experience traversing the different locations. I know that Brandon and I here at the channel are very excited for this new Assassin's Creed game, so if any more video or podcast worthy news comes out, we'll be sure to keep you updated. We don't have an official launch date yet, but we know from the trailer that it's coming holiday 2020, and judging by previous Assassin's Creed release dates, we should expect this in late October or early November. But keep an eye out for an official announcement from Ubisoft at some point, and while you're keeping an eye for things, look out for our next podcast on Monday, which will probably be Star Wars related since it will be on May the 4th. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw here today, then maybe consider subscribing to catch our other content as and when it releases.